Garbage Fire by Golden Time Jack.
Hello, Robert. How are your taxes going? They are going well, George. I certainly can't complain. Have you seen the Dow today? Ah, yes, the Dow Jones. Very impressive numbers. They are even better than last week. What a time to be alive. These are the exchanges that were commonplace between George and Robert. Every day they engage in the same ritual. They'd leave their respective offices in pursuit of another cup of coffee, run into one another in the hallway, and begin a conversation composed of non-controversial concepts. There was never a set time for this exchange, but it always occurred. It was as though their bodies had been willed to move at the exact same moment in time. They were two rotating cogs in the grandfather clock that is the universe. As they continued their casual conversation, they proceeded to enter the break room. As any office goer already knows, the break room is where coffee is stored. It is also home to a fridge, a sink, a small cabinet located directly above the sink, a table with two chairs, and a garbage can. These are the typical pillars of the break room, but today there was a surprise guest, a rogue player within the office world. The conversation between the two office men continued. "Those stocks sure are looking good," George said. "Hopefully we'll see an increase in..." George had no intention of halting his tongue, but his nose came into contact with an unexpected sensation. Robert could also sense this strange occurrence. In the corner of the office, below the sink, stood the garbage can. However, it was not in its usual state. Within this garbage can, there was a tongue of fire. "Hey, Robert, do you see that?" "Yeah. Looks like the garbage can is on fire." "Huh. Should we, put it out?" "Yeah. Maybe. I'm just, wondering." "What are you wondering?" "How did it, get here? How did that garbage can set on fire?" Yeah, that's a good question. It's odd, Robert. I was just using fire last night to cook dinner, and it didn't strike me as odd. But this garbage fire, it feels out of place. You're right. Because it's so out of place, it feels kind of special in a way. So you feel that way too? Yeah, kinda. I don't know. I feel like we aren't even asking the right questions here. We're wondering how the fire got here, but we aren't even wondering why it's here, or what it means. Yeah. This fire might even be here for a reason, but because we decided that it is wrong for it to even exist, we didn't think about that. Yeah, and it's kind of brave of the fire to even be here in the first place. It knows it does not belong in an office, but it chose to be here anyway. The fire is it's like man landing on the moon. I like that. That's a good comparison. Or maybe it's even like a sign of some sort. Like something divine? Maybe. I guess what I mean to say is that it's silly of us to just think that the fire exists for the sake of existing. I mean, the fire is totally out of place within an office. So if it's here, then that implies that someone wanted it to be here. And if we were to just dismiss it and get rid of it without really thinking about it, then we aren't really considering the full picture. It's borderline barbaric. George glared into the fire. Do you think it has a specific meaning? I mean, it has to mean something. George and Robert stared at the fire in silence for a moment, till Robert asked, "What do you think the fire means?" Well, the way I interpret it, the fire might have been sent here by something stronger than us. I don't necessarily mean a type of god or something, but basically something bigger than us. Maybe it's meant as a wake-up call of some sort. We've gotten so caught up in our office life that we've lost track of what brought us to this point in the first place. We might be two workers in an office, but we would be nothing without fire. Fire is the beginning and the end. And in our own arrogance, we decided that fire belongs to us. And we decided when it does and does not exist. And maybe this fire is a way of telling us that we can't control everything. At the end of the day, we are just as human and vulnerable as the days when we lived in caves and drew on walls. And now we wear, ties. Like, what? What the hell is a tie? Why am I wearing this? My ancestors spent their lives surviving and improving, and now I wear a tie? And my shoes hurt every day. But I'm still wearing them because I bought them and I don't want to go back to Target to return them, so I just let myself wear painful shoes and suffer. Is this how I'm gonna die? In shoes I don't like and a tie? This fire right here stands against all of that. It is here to tell us that we are still those cavemen lurking in the dark, and we need fire. That's how I see it. Oh wow, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I don't know, I just thought that up. That's super cool. Well, thank you, Rob. What do you think it means? Well, I didn't even see it the way you saw it. Your interpretation is super cool, but I don't really see the fire as something that's trying to save us. If anything, I think the fire's pissed. You think so, Rob? Yeah, this fire wants blood. Why is that, Rob? Well, we pretty much enslaved it. At first, we didn't have a lot of control over fire. It's like what you were talking about being cavemen. Like, way back in the day, we didn't know how to use fire. It would just come out and wreak havoc, which is not to say it's bad. If anything, I think the fire is, amoral or something. It's not a bad thing, it's just fire being fire. But now we've decided that we own fire. We only let it exist when we want it to. So the fire is pretty much a slave to us. We only use it for our own personal gain. And when we're done with it, we extinguish it. In fact, that's how we use a lot of things. We just take things and toss them away when we're done. Isn't that selfish? But this fire, it's saying that it's done being an object for us to use. It's taking back its place as something bright and powerful and intense, and we just have to accept that. We can't keep putting fire back in its place. We gotta let it be free. Wow, that's really something. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't mean I don't agree with what you said. Oh, Rob, don't even worry about that. You just gave your whole bit, and then I was like, oh, I see it completely differently. And when I was done, I was like, oh, shoot, did I just call George wrong? And I didn't want to be a jerk. I didn't see it that way at all, Rob. If anything, it's like our views of the fire enrich each other. This fire is both, glorious to us. So it doesn't even need to be just one definition. Yeah, why not both, right? Totally. The fire probably wants us to explore those options. The two continued to stare at the fire, which had now left a black char mark on the counter in the break room. As the two gazed into the fire, Tim, another one of the office employees, entered the room. Hello, gentlemen. Did you see the Dow what is that? I know, right? That's what we were trying to figure out. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Uh-oh. Hold on, Tim said before he dashed out of the room. George and Robert continued gazing into the fire, which had grown stronger over the course of their exchange. What once was a small flame peeking out of the trash can was now a proud inferno roaring from the top of the can. Tim returned to the break room, holding a fire extinguisher in his hands. "I got this," he said before extinguishing the flame. "What the fuck, Tim?" "Yeah, Tim, what the fuck? What the fuck is your problem?" "What? What are you talking about?" "That fire was just doing its thing. It was just hanging out, and you decided to be a fucking asshole and destroy it!" "Yeah, Tim, you fat slut. That fire was awesome and you went and fucked it up." "I loved that fire, Tim. That fire was awesome." "I was ready to die on the cross for that fire, Tim." "That fire is gone now, Tim, because you decided you would just go ahead and play God like some sort of coward." "Yeah, you dumb bitch. Go play God with someone else's fire." Tim stood there with a confused and frustrated expression. His mouth wanted to say words, but it stood in disbelief. He finally said, "All right. You two are acting completely bizarre. I'm not even gonna touch this. I'm going back to my office. You two just do whatever you want." Tim left the break room, leaving the two men flameless. "Tim is going to hell when he dies." "I hope he does. I so hope he does." "Well, this sucks. What now? Should we, I don't know, start another fire?" "We could try." The two men grabbed a napkin from the cabinet and set fire to it with Robert's lighter. They dropped it into the trash can and stared at it. They stood together in silence for about a minute before George said, "It doesn't feel the same." "You know, I was thinking the same exact thought." "It's one thing to make a flame, but finding a flame is, like, way different." "Honestly, though, it's just not the same feeling. Even if there is another fire, I feel like I'm just gonna compare it to the first one automatically." "Same here." "You know something? This fire is making me think about the first one." "Me too." "No, I mean, like, it's making me realize something about the first fire." "Oh yeah? What do you mean?" "Well, like, it's frustrating because the fire didn't really have much of a choice over whether or not it was going to live on or burn out. It was stuck in a garbage can the whole time it was alive, and it couldn't really do anything about that." "Yeah, you're right. It was like just doomed to stay there." "Right, and that sucks. But also, that's what makes us different from the fire." "You mean the fire was stuck, but we aren't?" "Exactly. That fire could have had things it wanted to do, but it just had to keep on being a garbage fire. But we can do whatever we want, and the fact that we are here right now kind of makes me mad." "I think you're right. Like, this is a place where fires aren't even allowed to exist. And I don't know if I'm into that." "Right, like, we could be doing anything right now. But instead we're here, and I don't even want to be here anymore." Yeah, this place is ass. Why should we willingly continue to occupy a place where Tim exists?" "You're right. This is a bad place. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go do something else. And right now I don't even care what. If I was doing anything else right now, I would be like, wow, thank God I'm not back in the office with Tim right now, because that would suck and I would hate that." "I completely agree. I want to leave. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go look at a lake or a large body of water of some sort. Yes, that's an awesome idea. I'm gonna do something right now. I'm gonna take off these stupid fucking shoes, and I'm throwing them into the second fire. Yeah, burn, you stupid fucking shoes. This is amazing. I feel good. I feel loose. I want to just start booking it through the forest. I don't even care if branches and leaves get in my face. I'm just gonna run until I want to stop. That's amazing, George. I bet that wind would feel so amazing. That's what I was gonna say next. I completely agree. I just want to get out of here. Yeah, fuck this place. And fuck Tim. Yeah, fuck Tim. Fuck Tim. Hey, Tim. 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 Yeah, Tim. Tim, get over here. Upon hearing calls for his name, Tim returned to the break room. Fuck you, Tim. Yeah, fuck you, Tim. We're getting out of here. We won't be having any more of your stupid shit, Tim. I'm going to the woods. And Rob is gonna go look at a lake. That's right. And there's not a single fucking thing you could do to stop us. Fuck you, Tim. George and Robert rejoiced as they left the office, leaving Tim stunned. With nothing left to say, Tim left the break room. And the garbage fire burned on.